Hi everyone, welcome back to the SDG Media Zone. We're here at Doha, Qatar. So our next session is to flip a script through youth empowerment. Let me pass the floor to our moderator today, Souphaksone Silaphet, anchor from the Lao National Television. Souphaksone, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shua. Thank you very much, and welcome everyone to the Flip the Script Dialogue, a series hosted by the SDG Action Campaign, a special initiative mandated to mobilize, inspire, and connect people to take action and achieve the SDGs. I'm Souphaksone Silaphet from Lao National Television, and to be your moderator for today. And we're privileged here with my three guests here from various sectors to talk with us. The first one is Ms. Jeanine El Moghrabi, from Sustainability Manager, Canon EMEA, Mr. Adam Pensotti, Imaging to Transform Our World plus Canon Young People's Programme, and lastly, Ms. Afruza Tanzi, social entrepreneur from the country of Bangladesh. Welcome you all. And of course, as you know that we are joining us for this conversation today, is to share their insights on strategies for engaging and empowering youth in sustainable development efforts and the role they can play in achieving the SDGs. And of course, as we know, young people are the future, and their potential to shape a better world is often underestimated. In this session, we will explore how we can flip the script on youth empowerment and create a world where young people are mobilized and empowered to become leaders of tomorrow. And of course, before we start, we have a special short clip from the UNSDG Action Campaign, which explains to us why that when we talk about needing to flip the script. There it is. And now we're back with our guests. And of course, as after we've seen the short clip, you can get a pretty understanding why we need to flip the script on this particular matter. And of course, we'd like to begin with the first question to Adam, if you don't mind. There's untapped potential of the young people for sustainable development. And of course, what kind of transformations are needed to enhance youth contributions?
Thanks, Lar. For me, young people have always had untapped potential, and the current generation are no different at all. Personally, there are two areas of transformation. Education and listening. Sustainability needs to be embedded into the education curriculums right across the world. I've already seen it in the developing parts of our world, but it needs to be in everybody's classroom right across the world. It's only by educating around sustainability and the action that can be taken that we are actually going to change our future. The second transformation is listening. We need to listen, we need to hear, and we need to give youth more access to platforms to share their opinions and hear their voice. We need to find more opportunities for young people to express themselves. That was actually going to be it. But here at LDC 5, we're running a collaboration workshop with youth delegates from right across 46 different LDC countries. We're teaching them storytelling. As Canon, that's what we do. We make creative storytelling products and we teach storytelling with those products. We're doing it here, and one of the young men who is in our program, Mahamadou Saidou from Guinea-Bissau, he actually had a very similar question. They all came up with their own stories. They all came up with photographs. He came up with a very similar question, and his answer was my third one, which is partnerships. We all need partnerships. We have partnered as Canon, we have partnered with the UN, but that partnership is now being transferred. It's now between us and it's between the youth delegates. For Mahamadou, he needs to see more partnerships in Guinea-Bissau between private sector, between corporate government sector, in helping youth to make those differences and create that transformation. So those are three things: education, listening, and partnerships.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Adam. And that is very interesting. And of course, same question to Tanzi, if you don't mind. Of course, can you share with us what kind of transformations are needed to enhance youth contribution?
Thank you for the question. Since we're talking about flipping the script, I would like to put it out there. Being a youth, I hate the word representation, because in these kind of conferences, policy making, when we talk about including people and we say we need a visible representation, but no, we need a meaningful participation. We are just using the faces of young people like, oh, there were young people invited, there were young people present, but is that enough? It's not. We need meaningful participation. So I think that's one transformation which LDC5 has been an incredible example for, that we had a very meaningful participation in the whole process of Doha Plan of Action. That's one. Another thing, I guess, the key word might be capacity building, but it's not the capacities that are only needed to get a 21st century job or to, the capacities that we talk about, like digital capacities. What we need is, we need to facilitate the whole situations for young people. So it's not only young people being readied, being trained how to talk to adult, it's also adult need to know and learn how to handle young opinions in a table. Because if we look at how the system works, it's always an adult person teaching a young person. And we need to flip that script too, to transform the whole situation. Because the systems that we have, starting from the education to the health to the gender equality, it's not facilitating enough for young people to be a part of it. And then the leaders, the adult leaders, I would say, I'm not sure if it's offending anybody, they would say, oh, we tried to include young people, but they were not smart enough, not prepared enough for that, because the education I received did not prepare me for that. You teach me maths, important, you teach me science, you never teach me negotiation. Then how do you expect me to negotiate with you? So I think the systems need to be more facilitating for young people and to make us prepared to be in dialogues with young people. Sorry, with adults.
Of course, as you mentioned, definitely is a really good point. It's not just about representation, but also inclusive participation, as you mentioned. Thank you very much, Tanzi. And of course, now I bring you to Jeanine, if you don't mind. It has increasingly been recognized that youth are a major force for sustainable development and key agents for change. And how should the private sector enable young people to achieve the SDGs?
Thank you for that question. Well, Canon, we really focus on creativity. So we try to enable creativity, to try to create social impact through creativity. So we work alongside our Canon ambassadors in education programs, social impact programs, to support youth in creating content, so images with an important story that would push for change around important sustainability issues in alignment with the UN SDGs. So we try to enable and empower global storytelling. So at this conference, we are currently running a YPP, a Young People Programme workshop, which is one for education initiatives, and we're also running exhibitions. And so the picture that you see here, so ahead of this conference, what we did is we sent some cameras ahead of time to the youth delegates so that they can capture content, so images and stories, in their communities back in the LDCs. And we've exhibited them here. So this image that you see was taken in Sierra Leone. And it talks about everyday life and resilience in the city that they're in. So this is very important to us. So this conference, this exhibition, because it gives us a chance to really engage with a global audience and bring together a global audience directly here around these important sustainability issues and try to push for change using the power of visual storytelling. So using a creative channel to get the idea across to everyone who's present at this conference. So with these partnerships, with these programs, these collaborations, what we're really trying to do is not only prepare young people and give them the tools and the training that they need to push for change and raise awareness, but also we want to reach the underrepresented communities, the young people in these underrepresented communities, and give them the tools that they need to talk about issues that they are probably facing in their day-to-day lives, these sustainability issues that we're discussing here. So they're usually going to be more passionate, they're usually going to have the most important and most captivating stories to really get people's attention and get that idea across and push for change.
Wonderful. And of course, as mentioned, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And definitely all these pictures that if the young participants have provided also definitely tell many, many stories that are happening in the LDC countries. And the final question I bring back to Tanzi, if you don't mind. As mentioned before, it has been increasingly recognized that youth are a major force for sustainable development and key agents of change. How would you say that young people like yourself is key for achieving the SDGs?
Thank you. I guess I would reply this in a sense of why. If the why is coming, I get the young people right now, we need to look about the sustainability, because when there are policymakers and politicians, adult politicians, talking about sustainable development goals, do they really care about sustainability? Because how long are they be in this earth? But I do care about the world in next 60 years, because there might be me and my next generation. So this is what about the young people. It's about the babies out there, because the sustainability is needed for us. So I guess if there's anyone in the world right now most passionate about sustainability, most needed to work for sustainability, that's the 1.8 million young people, because the sustainable world will be for us. Another thing I would say, the young people in this generation are resilient than ever. How many generations before has seen COVID-19? How many generations has seen before so many conflicts at a time in different levels? There were world wars, but it was world wars. But now we have world wars in different countries. And it's the connectivity. Before, it's the world may be in a war, but in a different segment of the world, nobody is getting impacted by that. But now we are so connected to technology. If there's war in one portion of the world, the other parts are so much affected by that. So I guess we are building, and we are already so much resilient that we are a key part of sustainability development goals. So it's that I have the right to shape the world, and I have the responsibility to contribute it. So of course, we are very important for the sustainable development goals.
And of course, the future of the world as well. And the owners,
also the present of the world is in our hands.
Present and future owners of the world are wonderful. And I'd like to thank all of our guests for joining us for this conversation, and those watching at home. The action does not stop here. And we're calling all of you to keep the momentum and join us for a journey of advocacy and action to flip the script towards a more inclusive, peaceful, and sustainable future. Thank you very much for everyone for joining us at the SDG Media Zone today. And goodbye from LDC 5 conference here in Doha, Qatar.